So I have no idea where this idea comes from, and it's really only prevalent in America and some places of Europe. Catholics are Christian. Not all Christians are Catholics, but Catholics are Christian. So let's go back to the founding of the Christian church around the 300s. So before this, you had no real organized religion. At least for so you had no real organized church for Christianity until the Council of Nicaea, organized by Emperor Constantine, kind of codifies what is Christian and what isn't. So basically, groups such as the not groups such as the Gnosticism. The Gnostics were ruled as heretical and kicked out of the church. So for about 700 years, you have a single unified church with 5 main bishops who were basically in charge of certain areas of the Christian world. One of these was the Archbishop of Rome, who eventually morphed into the Pope. So in 1054, there is this thing called the Great Schism between the Pope and the Patriarch of Constantinople, who disagree on whether or not the Pope is the supreme head of the Christian world. Now, the Pope obviously says, yes, what I say goes. I was anointed by God. And the Archbishop of Constantinople says, no, what you say does not go. What God says goes. So we're going to give each of our bishops the ability to make their own decisions. You do whatever the fuck you want. So the Archbishop of Rome, the Pope, and the Archbishop of Constantinople basically go their separate ways. So then for about 5-ish hundred years, you have Eastern and Western Christianity. So in the East, you have Eastern Orthodoxy, and we won't talk about that. But in the West, you have Catholicism, or the Western Church, kind of. So this goes on for about 500 years. You have the Crusades and all that, and the Pope is the supreme law of the land. Now, not everyone listens to what he says, but technically speaking, he is the supreme law of the land for Christians in the west of Europe. Until good old Martin Luther comes with Protestantism and says, no, you aren't in charge, so we are going to go do our own thing. So a bunch of people, mainly in northern and northwestern Europe, break off from the Catholic Church and form a bunch of different Protestant churches. You have the Anabaptists, the Anglicans, who don't see themselves as Protestant, but whatever. Then you have the Reformists, the Calvinists. All of these people had wildly different ideas about how Christianity should be done. But then within a lot of these groups, they start getting persecuted by the Catholics. So a lot of them, especially in England and Ireland, they migrate to the New World. And in the New World, these churches find a lot more stability, a lot more grabbing power among the people than they did in Europe. So in Europe, the Catholics and Protestants kind of keep fighting for about a while. But then they come to an uneasy peace in the 1640s. In America, there is a constant fear of the Catholics. Like, even in 1960, JFK, who was Catholic, had to quash fears that no, I'm not going to give the country to the Pope. So, here's what I'm going to say. Catholics are Christian. Protestants are Christian. Eastern Orthodox is Christian. Nestorians are Christian. They are all different branches of Christianity. Think of it like Greek mythology. What a Spartan believes Aphrodite is the god of, and what a Athenian believes Aphrodite is the god of, are two different things, but they're both worshiping the same god. It's a rough metaphor, but that's similar to how it works with Christianity here. Now, I see this a lot with people my age who kind of just say the things that they were taught, and this is not a knock on anyone at all. I'm simply saying Catholics are Christian.